thread.
Yeah, on the topic of crucifixion, I want to I want to read, just kind of like read some of these to you, and if you're okay with it, and see what your thoughts are. So
But
I said I'll be hosting Vagner Rocha for the recording of episode 83 of the Main Idea podcast. Given a recent IBJJF suspension, I figured it'd be an open thread to give anyone questions for people might have for him. I will try my best to include questions during the discussion. I mean, I felt like that would kind of invite like, yeah, if anyone has questions, like constructive questions about IBJJF suspension, kind of like what we're doing. I kind of thought it would be like this, like maybe people want to learn about what's the mindset, what's going through it, what should we talk about, what needs to change in the sport, what kind of regulation should adjust. I kind of thought it would be like that. Um, I'll just read these off. Why is he so chill with known rapists, but then he gets so worked up over hypothetical drag queens? Uh, you should bring up the actual grooming
hypo,
and sexual
hy-
assault.
hypothetical drag queens. What are we talking about?
Not sure what that is. You should bring up actual grooming and sexual assault. It's called being woke and being me too'd. Made up problems and drag queens is not. Again, I don't understand the drag queen reference here. And I'll just read one more. This is where is it? I guess that was kind of the what is it like being a grown man with the temper of a 7-year-old? FBI, open up, ask him if he also likes kids. Ask him if he has any tips on harboring fugitives. What are your, like, when you hear this kind of stuff, what are your thoughts?
It's again what I told you. It like distorted, non-factual facts. It's all
Yeah.
things that are just like, what are we? What are they even talking about?
What is the
Like,
drag?
and
I couldn't find any understanding of the drag queen thing. I don't understand that.
I don't. I'm like completely confused. Like, this is what I'm telling you. Like, this is I personally don't respond to these people that come up.
So
What
I
I
said,
don't even know what to say to that.
I said
Did you?
in response to many of, this is me writing to some of these questions. I said, in response to many of the responded questions, I found this article from Flow Grappling, and it had basically you and Cyborg had a comment there. And I said, it's hard to glean from the article what involvement Wagner or had with Marcel than other than his wife and kids that train at the gym as a friendship. There's no charges against Wagner nor charges against Cyborg. So what's the purpose of referencing this? In that, meaning in a very short amount of time of a cursory search online to go and actually try to read like what happened without talking to you yet, to go and look like of the available information, what can you really learn from it? And what I learned in like 10 seconds was that neither of you guys were charged with anything. The
Nada.
person that did do something wrong was charged,
Yep.
and that there was association in the same way that you just described it, which was there was a pre-existing friendship and something happened. So as a host, as someone who loves the sport, I read through that and I was like, I mean, in a way, it was like disheartening to me, because the most liked, the most upvoted, the most shared, the most referenced comments are the most brutal, the ones that have the most aggressive kind of little chatter to them. And then, like I was alluding to earlier, those were some of the same people that when I then engaged with them, backpedaled and had like a somewhat all of a sudden human response to me trying to actually be constructive about this whole thing.
Well, can I know what you asked, and actually the ones that responded to you, what they said? Because it's, to me, it's just funny.
Yeah, so let's see what, so this original, let me find the original. Yeah, so the original statement and the most upvoted, why is he so chill with known rapists, but then he gets so worked up over hypothetical drag queens? And then let me find where I said,
That is so confusing to me what that even means.
I said, how would you phrase a question to address this if you were actually trying to dig at the root of the type of behavior? I'm not being facetious. I just want to think of a way to bring up questions like this in conversation versus instantly building a defensive and accusatory posture based on what you said. And then they produce I guess I would ask him if it's taken the time to look at the company he keeps in jiu-jitsu and what kind of impact he wants to have on jiu-jitsu outside of competition. With women bringing and growing presence in the sport, is he hesitant to work with people who have a sordid history? He's expressed concerns about the influence others can have on kids. What sort of action does he take to contribute to the development of children to prepare them for adulthood? That is the same exact person who
Wow.
moments ago said the first thing. Like, that's the problem with online presence, is behind that there's someone who's capable of thinking and actually putting forth something that's like useful, who clearly doesn't have these ideas about you, because if they truly did, if they really thought that about you, they wouldn't be able to form another question that was somewhat constructive, right? But behind the keyboard and the anonymity, feel like they can just call people racist harborers, rapist harborers, which is like, dude, imagine walking up to someone and saying that to them. I would expect to just be stabbed, or like, you know,
If somebody walked up to me and said that to me, I would actually educate them, and I'd be like, what are you talking? Give me facts that you're talking about. Like, explain yourself, because it's just it's non-factual stuff. It's just the internet making up what, like, this comment, like, what is he talking about? Where, and he didn't even address the whole drag queen. What does the drag queen have?
I couldn't
What,
figure it out.
like, what? It's just craziness. You're just
Yeah.
spewing um, trash out of your mouth. Like, it just doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, the internet just gives powers to anybody. Anybody can say whatever they want, and there's no consequence to it. Like, it's not like you're gonna call the police, the internet police, and say, "Hey, this guy is saying this stuff about me. It's not true." Like, you can't even. There's nobody to complain to. There's no repercussion for the things you say, and anybody can write anything, and anybody can say anything they want.